Hello, Brawlers! Ace here, the world's worst predecessor player. We have some patch notes. These patch notes are coming out this coming Tuesday, September 23rd. 1.8.3 is the new one. I've scrolled these through real quick, so I've read most of this, but let's see if we can figure out what's happening together. So first thing, we're gonna get some new skins. Quang with a helmet and Quang without a helmet. I think this looked great. I wish they would change his sword a little bit more though. We got a bunch of new skins. The Victorious bundle. That looks great. Then we can get right into the balance changes. So, I'm not sure why they did this, but whenever you back to base, the speed at which you regen health and mana has now been decreased a little bit. So if you hit the little booster at the end of the base, you'll probably now maybe not have full health. This is a weird thing that they did, I'm not sure why. The recall timers are going back up from 6 seconds to 8 seconds. I think this is a killer change. It just makes the pacing whenever you beat an enemy a little bit better. So in the past, if you say you're in the off lane and you just beat your opponent but you didn't kill them, they just escaped with a flash or something, by the time you kill their minion wave, they're going to be back in lane. So it was too fast. The hunt item, your little dagger, is going to be usable more often, which is great with the new seedlings and stuff coming out. With so many objectives, having more hunts is a great thing. Seedling got reworked a little bit. It won't do as much damage. The Shaper spawn time has been increased. That's good. We need a little bit of downtime in the jungle. Right now it's just you're going from objective to objective to objective. So I like these changes. Let's get right into the hero balancing. So Akron got a little bit of a rework. I wouldn't say this is a buff or a nerf. Maybe it's a little bit of a buff, but for the most part, it's just kind of being reworked. His physical attacks, so anything physical, his right click as well as his basic attacks will be a little bit stronger. His Weblash, which is the root and stun if you use it from up above, is getting a little bit of a damage increase as well, though his power scaling is decreasing, so I don't think this is going to become an issue. But I think overall this is a good little rework on him. He doesn't feel too strong, but he can snowball and he can feel really tanky early game. Argus has had a little bit of a change as well. I wouldn't say really this is a increase or a decrease. His passive has a little bit of a boost to it. His magical power scaling has a teeny tiny little boost to it, but his right click, which is his big damage dealer, it's the pew 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 ability. It'll now hit a little bit softer, but after these changes, I think things will be okay. Aurora got a big old buff. They really want to bring Aurora back into relevancy, and I think this will do it. I think she's going to be in a great state. So essentially, her Storm, whenever you hit an enemy hero or jungle minion, I want to say 4 times, your Storm comes up and it starts doing health-based damage. That got a little bit of a boost. And they also made it so that her double jump gets its cooldown reduced whenever she roots or stuns an opponent. So I believe that's with your secondary ability as well as with your ultimate, you'll get some damage or some reduction here in the cooldown for your double jump. Her secondary got a little bit of damage increase, that's nice. Boris got a little bit of a rework, but I think this is mostly towards the nerf side. I think these changes are probably good as a person who loves Boris. So they wanted to rework his mana a little bit. He will have less mana issues, so you probably don't have to build resolution on him anymore if you are maybe playing him in the offlane or something along those lines. But overall, his mana goes up, but his damage on his Chronos swipe will go down. I don't think that's secondary, I think they mean alternate here. Yeah, Chronos swipes is alternate. But yeah, anyway, let's move on to Countess. They're trying to rework her so that she is still doing okay in mid lane. I think overall we're not going to see much of a change here. She might be a little bit weaker in the off lane, but I think in the mid lane and in the jungle, she's gonna feel pretty good. We'll see. Decker got a buff. Her projectile size is now a little bit larger. So, you know, if you're playing a hero that's already kind of large, like Akron or Richter or Steel, you're going to be able to get hit by Decker a lot harder, as well as her mana regen is getting improved. Decker is going to be a force to be reckoned with in this patch. Drongo had his boomerang buffed a little bit. I think these are good. The boomerang always does feel like it should go a little bit further than what they show. It's a little bit larger here as well, so this is great. Feng Mao is getting pulled back just a little bit. This is definitely a nerf. And I think you will be able to feel this, especially later on in the game. But essentially what this means is when you are dueling with somebody, you're going to hit them a little bit softer and they're going to hit you a little bit harder. So, Greystone is getting a buff. Greystone is going to be in a great spot. People are now playing him mid and succeeding with it, so great, good for Greystone players. Grim is getting some of his augments changed. So his System Restore augment, which is really nice when you go up against a Richter or a Bellica, that's getting a bit of a nerf, and his reboot is getting a little bit of a buff. Now on to Grux. They really don't like Grux. He's such an interesting character when you snowball. They're giving him the big nerfs all across the board. His health is down, or his healing is down. His cooldown is longer. His damage is down. I think Grux will still be very good, but you're gonna have to actually pay attention to the screen now when you play him. Howitzer got a nerf. Whoa, Howitzer got a nerf. A pretty substantial nerf, actually, in my opinion. He was very good and he is very strong, but I don't think he quite needs this kind of a beatdown. Especially as the lifetime on his mines. That seems very strange. So Iggy, they're trying to get him in a good spot. He's getting a little bit of a buff. I don't think this is going to do much to him, but he's in such a weird place. His turrets is what he's known for. And they keep on messing with the turrets, but the turrets die in only a couple of hits now, so Iggy is just in such a strange place. They can't decide whether he needs to be a turret mage or an artillery mage. They just need to make a decision and stick with it. Kalari is getting a little bit of a buff. Her dagger cooldown has been increased substantially, and her ultimate will do a little bit more damage. I don't think this will bring her into the top tier heroes, but she'll be better off. Kira got a little bit of just a rework. I don't think it's a buff or a nerf. So her one augment will now do less damage, but the healing you get from her Siphoning Purge augment will be a little bit more. Quang, they bring him a little bit back into line. He's getting a little bit of a nerf. Damage decreases, mana cost increases, his shield is weaker. Probably all for the best. Quang was getting a little bit snowbally. Morigesh is getting a nerf. I don't think it's enough of a nerf, but I think this is a great start. This movement speed change alone is gonna hopefully help a lot with her bullying in the offlane. I'm really hoping we see less Morigesh in the offlane after these. Morn is getting a little bit of a nerf as well. It's not much. He's a little bit oppressive and he can spam his cooldowns way too much and do too much damage around the map. So it looks like they're just bringing his cooldowns a little bit down. I'm happy with this. Murdoch got another little buff. They are really giving this guy some movement speed increases. Whoop. So he had a movement and speed increase last patch as well, and now he's getting even faster. He's getting a little bit of a buff on his shots fired passive. This is going to hit really hard now, so you have to really focus on doing that. Narbash, I don't know who is wanting Narbash to be in the jungle, but his jungle's augment is getting buffed. He's also getting some better mana efficiency and some more uptime on his abilities. FaZe. Oh, I don't know what they're trying to do. FaZe is getting an enormous nerf. I think she is just unusable at the moment with this. So here's the thing with FaZe. They're changing it. They're making it so that her telekinetic link, the thing that pulls you back when you're in danger, can no longer pull you out of fear and charm effects. So if I'm playing carry and a FaZe is linked to me, I want the FaZe to be able to pull me out of danger, such as with maybe not roots, but out of stuns or fears or charms. If the FaZe is pulling me away when I'm being stunned or CC'd, that's awesome. If the FaZe is pulling me away when I'm actively attacking somebody, that feels bad. Now, I am a bad carry player, but at this point, FaZe's pullback just does nothing. Like, unless she has the foresight to know that you're about to be CC'd and pulls you out of that, that's about the only effect she has. At this point, you might as well go play Zinx or any other, or Decker, or anyone who has a stun or a cage. I think Decker completely outclasses FaZe at this point. I don't know what they're doing with this. RIP FaZe. Now, Rampage, he just got a little bit of a rework. They are trying to make it so he's not so strong in the off lane, but still is pretty good in the jungle. So he got some damage decreases, some cooldown increases. I think he's going to be in probably an okay state, maybe a little bit less than okay state. Rena, they're starting to work. They're starting to take her in the right direction. She's getting a little bit of a nerf. The most important thing here is that her mana cost is being increased. That alone is going to make her a little bit more balanced. It's terrible to feel that you get out of a fight with a Rena and you look at her and you're at 0 mana and she's sitting at 80%. That just doesn't feel good. They keep nerfing her execute threshold. I mean, I think these are a good start, and we'll see what she's at after this patch. Revenant is getting a nice little buff. I might actually give Revenant a go here. So they're wanting to make it so that his magical build is relevant again, which I like. It's always a fun way to do it. And they're also giving him a permanent stacking buff, similar to Xera's ultimate. So now if you kill somebody in the Netherrealm, you're going to get 4% physical and 4% magical power permanently. Revenant, I think, is going to be a great hero to play in this coming patch if you can hit your shots. Xerath is getting a little bit of a boost, both in the mana department as well as in the cooldown department. She's going to feel better in the offlane now. Shinbi got a little bit of a nerf. Her health is lower, her shield is lower. It's just going to pull her a little back in the offlane, where she's kind of dominating at the moment, especially if she builds, I want to say it's called Golem is the name of the item, Golem something, Greaves or whatever. She's going to just be pulled back a little bit more. Terra, they're giving a buff. Good. I think Terra is close to being a usable hero. Maybe this will do it. She's getting some physical armor on her ultimate as well, which is nice. Faye is getting a little bit of a buff, mostly based on around her augments. Natural Infusion is going to be nicer. This one is going to be less nice. Her healing was a problem, especially when she was in a support role. TB is getting a little bit of a nerf just for his grenades. I think this is probably okay. It just means you have to build resolution on him so you can get your mana back. Wraith is getting a little bit of a nerf here. We won't make the arrow too big. His right click, his knock knock, is going to shoot 2 meters less. So instead of 2800, it'll be 2600. We'll see if this plays out to feel bad or not. Yin, I believe, is getting a little bit of a nerf as well. Her E augment is being pulled back. And her mana's getting taken a little bit of a beating. She's getting some extra stacks on her kick. And her cooldown is going to be able to be used more often. I think that's awesome. Yuri got a little bit of a nerf as well. Nothing too major. Her cooldown increased on her little spin. is going up by 1 second, and her physical power for her dash is going to scale a little bit less. Zinx is just going to be the new phase now. Poor phase. She is getting a nice little increase in her potential. Her health's increased, damage increased, slows increased, her damage over time is also increased. Zinx is going to be real good. And that's it for the heroes. I'm not going to go over all the items. I'm just going to go to the ones that had major changes. Stormbreaker is going to feel good to play. It's going to hit a little bit harder whenever you do get your AoE ability. Dread is going to be amazing against magical players now. So if you want to take this against a Shinbi or maybe a Morigesh in the offlane, Dread will be excellent. Look up this item. You're going to like it. Psionic Echo is getting a shift from being a pen item to being a physical item. They're also adding an ability haste to everything, man. Ability haste just on every single item. And they're slowing down the attack speed that you get after you use an ability. So I think that's probably fair. We'll see how this item does. The rest of these items, Dawnstar is getting a little bit of a buff because nobody used it. Dynamo is going to be really nice on things like Richter and Decker now. And Elephars is just getting a little bit of a shift. The slow is going to get a little bit better. And I think that is it for the major changes. They're also going to do some updates to the opals, so keep an eye out on this. You can read through this. It's just changing the drop rates on some of the quantum cores and the method for getting opals. So yes, thank you guys for watching. Again, this patch is coming out this coming Tuesday, September 23rd. Of course, all of this can change between now and then. I'm currently recording on the Friday. So yes, thank you guys for watching and keep on brawling.